Ojo had always been an adventurous spirit. Fresh out of university and posted to the Middle Belt of Nigeria for his mandatory National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), he eagerly anticipated the new experiences that awaited him. Alongside him were his friends, two young men named Tunde and Kola, and a lady named Tayola. They were all posted to different towns but remained close, frequently visiting each other to explore their new environment together. It was during one of these visits that Ojo's life took an unexpected turn. The small, quiet town they were posted to was known for its scenic beauty and friendly locals. One evening, while out in the local market, Ojo and Tunde met a strikingly beautiful woman. She had long, intricately plaited hair that cascaded down her back and eyes that seemed to hold secrets. Her name was Iyato. Ojo, ever the charmer, approached Iyato with his usual confidence. Despite Tunde's teasing, Ojo was determined to win her over. After some light-hearted conversation and a few jokes, Iyato agreed to spend the evening with Ojo. Little did he know, this decision would lead him to the brink of death. That night, Ojo prepared meticulously for his date with Iyato. He ate 2 hearty bowls of pounded yam with ogbono soup, loaded with chunks of cowtail and shoki. To top it off, he drank a large bottle of stout, feeling invincible and ready for whatever the night had in store. The evening started off well. Ojo and Iyato enjoyed each other's company, laughing and sharing stories. Eventually, they retired to a quiet spot where they could be alone. Ojo, confident in his abilities, began to apply his techniques, thinking he had everything under control. Iyato seemed to enjoy it, but then something changed. "Let me work on you now," she said, a mischievous glint in her eyes. Ojo felt a pang of apprehension but nodded. Iyato climbed on top of him, and what followed was a whirlwind. She moved with a speed and intensity that Ojo had never experienced before in all his life. She seemed to draw out every ounce of his energy, pushing him to his limits. The last thing he remembered before everything went black was the overwhelming sensation of her movements. When Ojo regained consciousness, he was in a local hospital. His friends were there, looking worried. Tunde later told him that they had found him unconscious and unresponsive when Iyato shouted for help, drenched in sweat. They had to pour 2 buckets of water on him to resuscitate him before rushing him to the hospital. As Ojo lay in the hospital bed, weak and disoriented, he tried to piece together what had happened. He could still vividly recall Iyato's words and the sheer intensity of the experience. After a week of rest and proper recovery, he was finally able to recount the ordeal to his friends. "I prepared very well," Ojo began, his voice still a bit shaky. "I ate 2 bowls of pounded yam with ogbono soup, choki, cowtail, and then I drank 1 Odiko big bottle of stout. We started the show as usual, applying all my techniques, including touch your toes. When I thought I had finished her, it was then she said, 'Let me work on you now.' I was a little bit scared, but I thought, why not? She said, 'Now you are Iyato and I am you, Ojo.' She climbed on top of me and began to win me. She went deep into me, then closed it and pulled out, with a very high frequency. I was enjoying it, and then everything went black." His friends listened in astonished silence as he continued. "She f***ed the hell out of me. I fear those beautiful women now. Please, watch before you challenge them for a battle." The gravity of Ojo's experience was not lost on his friends. They had all heard stories about powerful, enigmatic women, but to see their friend nearly lose his life was a stark reminder of the reality behind such tales. Tayola, the only woman in their group, shook her head in disbelief. "You have to be careful, Ojo. Not every beautiful face is harmless," she warned. "Sometimes, there's more power behind those eyes than you can imagine." Ojo nodded, grateful for the concern and support of his friends. His encounter with Iyato had taught him a valuable lesson about underestimating others and overestimating his own capabilities. It was a humbling experience that he would carry with him for the rest of his life. As they left the hospital, Ojo couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. He had survived an ordeal that could have easily ended in tragedy. The experience had changed him, making him more cautious and respectful of the unknown. For the remainder of their service year, Ojo stayed away from similar encounters, focusing instead on his duties and the bonds he was forming with his fellow corps members. He often shared his story with others, not to boast, but to warn them of the potential dangers lurking behind a beautiful face. Ojo's tale became something of a legend among the youth corps members in the Middle Belt. It was a reminder of the thin line between pleasure and peril, and the importance of approaching new experiences with caution and respect.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.